Hi, and welcome to AnimalZone. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger, and this handsome fellow is Mikey, my adopted pit bull. AnimalZone is the A to Z on everything about adoptable pets. Whether you're looking for a bird, a cat, a dog, or even a tortoise, we've got experts who can share their knowledge and insights. So cuddle up with your favorite critter and join us as we explore the AnimalZone. Larissa Wohl, the pet rescue expert at Hallmark Channel's Home and Family, takes us to AdoptABunnyRabbit in Calabasas, and we'll meet some beautiful bunnies from Angoras to Woolies. Then Laura Stinchfield, the pet psychic, probes the thoughts of Buzz, an adopted kitten from Kitten Rescue LA. If you ever wanted to adopt a German Shepard, we'll meet some great ones, and they're looking for their forever homes. So let's hop into this edition of AnimalZone.
Bonjour Alex.
Bonjour Renaud.
Happiness? It's great food prepared the French way.
Chocolate eclair.
What makes you happy?
A touch of Paris.
Without the trip to France. Handcrafted daily in our bakeries especially for you. Indulge yourself.
Bon appétit.
Please visit Renaud's in Gelston, Santa Barbara, Long Beach, and La Cañada, Flint Ridge.
The Santa Barbara Humane Society is an independent, local, community-based nonprofit with adoptable animals ready to find a forever home today.
At the Santa Barbara Humane Society, we provide low-cost spay and neuter services and vaccinations. It's important for your dogs and cats to get vaccinated to prevent illnesses. And spay and neuter surgeries help prevent unwanted pregnancies and can benefit the health of your pet.
At the Santa Barbara Humane Society, we want you to adopt, not chop.
So today we're with Larissa Wohl from the Hallmark Channel's Home and Family, and we're going rabbits today. This is like, I think they've got 35 or 40 rabbits.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
That's incredible. It's like the Playboy Mansion without Hefner. But I brought some carrots.
Silly Arthur, don't you know bunnies actually shouldn't eat carrots? I learned that from our next guest, Vicky, and she has tons of good information. But you know what they are good for? Humans. Let's go.
Let's go. So here we are in your garage, and these are amazing cages. Now, what's the difference between a cage and a hutch?
Well, we don't want hutches anymore. Hutches are old-fashioned and going out. And so these cages are actually, some of them are 6 feet long, and some of them are 3 by 4, and so the bunny has actually enough room to maybe hop 1 or 2 hops in there, which he can't do in a hutch because his litter box is in there and his water and his food and all that. So we want to give them bigger, better space. And obviously this is not what you'd want them to live in at home. This is just here at the rescue. They get these cages. In this cage here, we've got a beautiful bunny called Sugar. And I'm going to let you see her by opening the door. She won't jump out. Sugar. Sugar. Let's see if I can entice her.
And you said there's a very specific way to try to get the bunnies out to you, right?
Yes. You want to give them an opportunity to know you, so you make a fist and you'll put it in there, and they'll usually come right at you, and sometimes they'll grunt at you like, what are you doing in my space? But once she has smelled me and I've given her a pat on the head, then it's much easier to give her a little grab. And
Sugar!
Now when I put her here, if she's get a little aggressive, then I put my hand on her head and I just start rubbing her and push down right behind where her neck is here. And if I push down on that gently, she knows I'm the boss. And then I can pick her up and put her on my body.
Sugar.
And that way you get to see Sugar. This is what we call a failed lion head. She should have a full mane and she didn't get it, so she failed, but she's adorable anyway. And it's not good, this whole breeding thing, because when we see bunnies this cute, we want this bunny and nobody wants the other bunnies anymore that are just plain and ordinary. And those bunnies end up in shelters and don't even get to live their life out because everybody wants the cute ones.
How old is Sugar?
So Sugar is about, we think, between 2 and 4, and she was found in a homeless environment. A homeless person had adopted her from the shelter and let her run free on the streets, and she stayed with them, which is amazing. And they fed her terrible things and drugs, and so she had to be actually detoxified when I got her. And so she's a little feisty right now after that, but she is a great bunny that will sit on your lap and will totally litter box trained.
Oh, she's beautiful. Hi, Sugar.
Did you give me a nip? Did you tell me you don't like this? Okay, I'll put you back.
What's the lifespan of a bunny?
Lifespan of a bunny in the wild is 6 months to 2 years is all. But in domestic situations, they can live 8 to 12 years, and the oldest bunny lived to be 18. And he's in the Guinness Book of World Records. So they can have as long a lifespan as a dog or a cat if you feed them correctly and their genetics are good.
Oh, of the ones that you have, where do you get most of them?
Most of mine come from people calling me and saying, I can't keep my bunny, will you take it? Initially when I started, I got them from the shelter. If they were going to be put down at the shelter, then I would take it home because I was working at the shelter as a volunteer and I couldn't stand the thought. Here I am taking care of them and they're going to kill them. So I'm like, I'll take that one home, I'll take that one home. And I started doing that. And when they got here into this environment, they became much more social, and so they were more adoptable that way.
Okay. Oh, hi, baby. Oh, I got nervous.
Yeah, and she knows that. Now go right up, slide your hand, that's it, and then just start to behind her ears and start rubbing and then come to her forehead. They love the forehead is the favorite.
I grew up with bunnies, but it's been a long time. My mom was similar to you, and we had a bunny run, and my dad would come down the stairs every morning and he would poke his head out and he would count them because my mom was always sneaking more bunnies.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, my husband doesn't dare to come out and count.
Well, I would also think that if you have a bunch of bunnies running around, don't they multiply anyway?
Yes.
They will multiply every 28 days. They can have up to 12 babies each. They have 2 uteruses. They can have babies from different daddies. So it's a crazy thing. You get 2 bunnies, boy and a girl. I've had several situations, and I'm working with one right now, where they had 2, and 6 months later they have 60.
Oh my goodness.
And then they're not separating the boys from the girls. And I got into a situation where there was 60 and I separated the boys from the girls. So we haven't had more babies this last year, but we have to spay and neuter all 60. That's at the minimum $100 a piece would be $6,000.
Wow.
And they all have ear mites because they're living outside. And I have 3 of them here, and I can show you one later. But the males have been, because they're not neutered, have been fighting for dominance. And they're in an enclosed space. And so the males, when they fight, the ones that are weaker will leave the warren and go elsewhere. But when they can't get out, they fight till they're dead.
Oh my gosh.
And I took the runt and the bullied one out, and he's here, and he's just the most wonderful bunny, and he is so happy and grateful to be here. It's a dream come true for him. But
do you think people don't realize that they can spay and neuter bunnies?
No, people are starting to realize it more and more now because of the House Rabbit Society, which is amazing. But the problem is when you get a bunny from anywhere but the shelter, because the shelter spays and neuters them, but if you get a bunny from the store, it's not spayed and neutered, and then you go to the vet when you find out it needs to be spayed or neutered, and you go to the vet and you say, how much does it cost to spay this bunny? It's between $500 and $600 to do a girl, and between $200 and $400 to do a boy. Boy is easy, vasectomy. Girl is like a C-section.
Right.
And it's tough on them, and they have weak hearts because they're meant to die quickly out in the wild. If they get caught by a predator, they can actually just kill themselves. And so their hearts are weak.
What?
Yes, they can just create a heart attack out of their anxiety and fear.
Oh my God.
And so what happens is the anesthesia can kill them. And so the vets are really scared about doing the anesthesia. And so that's why they have to charge that much. So I get it on the vet's part, but it means people come home and go, I'm not going to spay and neuter them because I'm not going to spend that much money on a bunny that cost me $20.
Right.
You know?
Right. And then the problem just keeps multiplying. Literally.
Yes, literally.
Now, around Easter time, a lot of people get little bunnies and they're cute, and they have them in the Easter baskets, and maybe think it'd be a great thing for the family, but things change.
What happens is at Easter, the stores are selling the baby bunnies that they take away from the moms way too young. And between 1 and 3 months, the bunnies are, unlike kittens and puppies, they're not rambunctious. They're very, very calm. Their hormones have not come in yet. At 3 months for a boy and at 5 months for a girl, the hormones come in. And then they get ornery, naughty. They're a temper tantrum toddler or a teenager, sullen, and they just aren't nice. And at that point, you just leave them alone. Just like when your kid says, Mom, get out of my room, you stay out of their room and you leave them. They pass that stage. If you spay and neuter them, the hormones are taken away and they get much better right away. Actually, spaying and neutering them will make them almost automatically litter box trained. They're amazingly clean like a cat, these animals. And so spaying and neutering is really essential. We have to find vets that will do that.
Wait, go back for a quick second, because that was so interesting. So you're saying when you first get them, they can be kind of docile, and but then give it a few months, and so people don't realize that. And then what happens?
What happens is they've gotten this little bunny in the Easter basket for their 1 or 2 year old, or even an older child, and then when it gets naughty and starts biting their kid, they're like, oh, this is not what I wanted. And so they bring the bunny to the shelter, and the shelter gets the teenage bunny, which is the hardest time to get him adopted for us too.
Statistically, how many more bunnies do you see around Easter needing help?
It's not at Easter, because at Easter they're babies and docile, but 3 months after Easter, so sometime in the middle of the summer, they start coming into the shelters. It's a period every rescuer, bunny rescuer is like, here it comes again.
Right.
Wow. Now, here at your bunny mansion, you've got some bunnies upstairs, too.
I do.
Can we go take a peek
Absolutely.
at them? Absolutely.
Yay. Thank you, Sugar, for hanging out with us.
Hey, take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today. And don't worry, if someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Every morning you could count on it being there with the rise of the sun. We're proud to say we've been there every day with you. The Santa Barbara News Press plans to continue sharing the news of the day with you all through the year and beyond. It's nice to know there are some things you can still count on. The Santa Barbara News Press, serving Santa Barbara since 1855.
Subscribe today. Call 1-800-654-3292.
So Vicky, who's this amazing bunny?
This is Matcha. She is a girl, so it's not macho, and she is an Angora, French Angora, and she used to have these little tips on her ears, which French Angoras do, but I cut them off, and they didn't grow back very well. But she is a gorgeous Angora. This is fur that you can, if you take good care of it, when you shear them, you can use it to make Angora wool if you know how to spin. And it's beautiful. It can be dyed any color, and her color is especially nice because it takes on the jewel tone colors beautifully.
She's gorgeous.
And she's a very good bunny. She's not as mellow as most Angoras. She's got a lot of personality. That's why we call her Matcha. And she lets you know what she likes and she doesn't like. And she's probably about 4 years old, maybe 5. And
she looks like she's very happy. I mean, I'd be happy right now being held by you and rubbed by you. But do bunnies purr?
Bunnies do have a purr.
Really?
Just like cats, but it's not something you can hear. So when they purr, they do something called teeth chattering. And it's just like this. You can do it too, but it's not good for your teeth. But I do it all the time because if you do it to them, it's like you're saying, I love you. Oh. When they do it to you, they're telling you they like what you're doing. So if you start doing their jaw like this, now she won't purr for you right off the bat. You have to get to know her. You know, somebody doesn't say I love you till you've had a relationship.
On a few dates
right.
first.
So, but after a while, you can see she closes her eyes when you rub her jaw, and the head and ear area, and the neck and the jaw are the best places to pat a bunny. They just go crazy for that. Not here because they have a scent gland there. cats love this, but bunnies
Right.
don't. But anywhere else on the head is their zone.
Wow.
And so when you start doing that and you have a relationship, they'll start chattering their teeth, and you even if you don't hear it, you can feel it, the vibration.
Do they know you? They have, like, they know a familiar face
Yes,
or familiar
absolutely,
hand?
just like a dog or a cat.
Wow, and then how does one adopt a bunny? Because I'm kind of falling in love with Macho over here.
Well, you can adopt a bunny by going to our website, which is AdoptABunnyRabbit. You have to have both bunny and rabbit. AdoptABunnyRabbit.org, and there is an adoption application on there, and you just fill it out. And you can send it to me online, or you can mail it in. And well, of course, you'll want to come see the bunnies, and you can do the adoption application here too, but it's just faster if you do it at home. And then you can come here, visit the bunnies, take them outside in our yard, and interact with them and see who you connect with, because it's who you connect with that matters. It's not what they look like. You can pick the cutest bunny, but if you don't have a connection with it, it doesn't work.
And if you don't mind, I have one more question that I just have to ask. People think dogs and cats give you so much love, but bunnies, what do they give you? What would you tell somebody?
Well, I would tell you that if you can attain the love of a bunny, you have done more than you've done with a dog. Dogs are unconditional lovers. They're like God. They love you no matter what, right? Cats are opposite, actually. but it's, your cat usually loves you, but she comes to you when you want. Bunnies, because they're caged usually, although we love to have them be roam free, they're so eager like a dog. When you come home, they'll stand up and say, finally you're here, finally you're here. And they will come to you and they will love you. And when they do that, you have attained a connection with them. Wow. But it's more of a challenge. They're not right out there like, oh, I'm going to be your best friend like a dog. But when you woo them, if you woo them, you can bunnies will blossom.
Wow, this has been so great, Vicki. Thank you for having us, and we've got to hop to a break, but we'll be right back after these words.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today, and don't worry. If someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Care for Paws was started in 2009 with a goal to reduce pet overpopulation and keep animals out of shelters, and also to ensure that pets can stay with their owners for life. We, from the get-go, established a free spay and neuter program that would help low-income pet owners fix their pets. So we provide shots, microchips, dewormer, flea treatment. We also have a veterinary intervention program. It's a way for us to help improve the quality of life for the animal as well for the owner, because when an animal suffers in the family, so does the rest of the family.
Imagine, if you will, a zone where animals can talk to humans. Submitted for your amazement, the pet psychic, as we enter the Animal Zone. We're here today with Laura Stinchfield, the pet psychic, and she's holding Buzz, our adopted kitty from Kitten Rescue LA, and of course Wendy. And it's great to see you again, and you've got a little handful there with Buzz.
He's super nervous.
Yeah, and maybe he's a little more camera shy than some of the other guys we've had on.
Well, you can handle it, bud. You can do it, Buzz. Yeah, you can do it. Just blink your eyes. Okay, just blink your eyes and relax your mouth. So, Buzz, what do you want to say today? You can say anything that you... Good boy. Did you see him lick? Mm-hmm. So that's a calming signal. So like when animals are stressed, they clamp their mouth and their eyes get really big and they stare and they kind of like hold their breath like we do. And so if they're stressed, you kind of want to relax them and tell them that they can blink, that they can lick. And it's important for him to be able to kind of look away from what's scaring him, although we want him to look at the camera. But sometimes we can help them by telling them, like, you can lick, and then give him a break. And let him hide if he wants to. What do you want to say? Is there anything you want or you need or you've been thinking about? Now's your chance. He says that he thinks about where his exit routes are. Yeah, that's survival mode. Yeah, that's what a smart kitty does when they're in survival mode, but you're safe. You don't have to be in survival mode. You can just kind of center yourself. What else do you think? Like when you're relaxed and you're at home, what do you think? What goes on in that little head of yours? He says sometimes he thinks about zigzag play. It must be like when you do that.
Maybe.
Yeah. And sometimes I think about how I can jump up higher.
Which he does, yes.
Oh, he says sometimes he wonders about cold things, like if he could play with an ice cube. Has he ever done that?
No.
Cold bottles of water.
Oh. Yeah. He wants to know if when Mikey runs, is there ever a chance that Mikey might run on top of him?
Wow.
You know, Mikey
Boy.
chases him.
Yeah.
He's really relentless about chasing him because he'll run. And the other ones just kind of stand their ground, but he runs. He's terrified of him. And I wonder if he had a bad experience with a dog when he was, you know, a tiny baby.
Yeah.
Because he's terrified of Mikey.
I think they were born outside, and so the trauma hit him more. Mikey does like to chase you, but one of the things is, you know how you're super fast? Like, you know how things are super fast, like your toy is super fast and you like to play that zigzag game, which is your toy? When you run from Mikey, you look like a zigzag toy. So if you could see if you could get up high like you did and just stand still, or even just stand still where you are, Mikey won't chase you as much. He would be slower. The slower you are, the slower he is. But I would suggest that you just get up high because Mikey can't get up high. So instead of running, just jump up higher. Is that fair enough to say? Is he allowed to jump up high?
Sure.
Yeah, he actually has a little sink he likes to get into.
Yeah.
He can look over from the sink and look down.
So you could go get in the sink or something, you know? But basically, know that when you run, you look like a zigzag toy to Mikey.
Laura, thank you so much. This is always intriguing to hear what you say and to be able to tap into Buzz and spread his buzzwords around.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got more Animal Zone. Stay tuned.
My grandfather taught me about the beauty of the rugs. Each one tells a story. Story about the person who wove it, the person who bought it, the person who inherits it, the person who treasures it. It's amazing how simply looking at an object can bring you back to a different place and time, or remind you of someone you love. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we want to help you find a rug that will travel through time with your family for generations to come. Visit us at 410 Oliver Street and find your treasure today.
The Santa Barbara County Animal Care Foundation is dedicated to saving animals' lives, but we need your help to continue this critical work. SBCACF provides year-round medical and surgical care so that abandoned, homeless, or abused animals receive the best second chance at finding a loving home.
No animal is turned away from surgical care.
To learn more and assist us in keeping that pledge, visit sbcanimalcare.org and make a donation today.
If they can be saved,
we want to save them.
Today we're at the Camino Real Marketplace in Goleta, where they're having an adopt-a-thon, and the Westside German Shepard Rescue is here, along with Tiffany, who runs them, and beautiful Athena, who is available. Thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having us.
I mean, this is, Athena's capturing my heart. I'm ready to take her right home with me. And she's just an example of the kind of dogs you have?
She is just one of probably about 100 dogs that we have right now. She's one of our special needs dogs because she is deaf and went deaf at an early age. But we have a mix of all different kinds of dogs from different ages, different sexes. Some are full AKC Shepherds that have been turned into us, and some of them are mixes like Athena.
A lot of times people don't realize that you can find breed-specific adoption groups.
Absolutely.
Like what you have here. And so a lot of people who love German Shepherds may not think they could ever find a German Shepherd in a shelter, but they come to you and you've got a whole handful of them.
Absolutely. We're a specialized rescue. We'll take in different dogs every so often that jump in our van and steal our hearts, but we primarily work with German Shepherds. We're one of the few German Shepherds rescues that are left from LA all the way up to San Jose. So we try to do some events up here in Santa Barbara area just to showcase some of our wonderful dogs.
Now, when you look at a German Shepherd, do you know right away the kind of personality you're dealing with? They're all a bit different, aren't they?
They're all different. They all have different personalities, different quirks. Some of them are good with cats, some of them are good with kids, some can't do either. So we have a wide range of different dogs.
Do you get puppies as well?
We do. We have several adoptable puppies right now on our website. Sometimes people will turn in mothers that are pregnant, and then the dogs will go into a foster home, and then we will do our best to find homes for all the dogs.
Wow. Now, you're fostering Athena right now, aren't you?
I am, yes.
And I mean, fostering must be a tough and wonderful job at the same time, because don't you get really attached?
You do, and you also become very picky about what kind of home you want them to go to. It's difficult, but you know that if you find them a new home, that you'll be able to save another dog, the next foster that comes into your home. So that's what tries to make it a little bit easier, or does make it a little bit easier. But it'll be very difficult to say goodbye.
So what would be your dream parents for Athena?
Athena really needs people that are home more often. She gets a little bit nervous because she's deaf when she's left alone for long periods of time. So she would do best with somebody that works from home or part-time, or needs a dog to take with them everywhere they go. She does great in the car, and she loves kids and loves other dogs.
I mean, you know, thinking about a deaf dog, I mean, I can see she's paying so much attention to what your hands are doing. Yes. But what do you do when she's out in the yard and you want to call her to come back in?
She watches you pretty carefully. When she's out in the yard, she's constantly looking back at the house, I've noticed. And we have hand signals for come, and she's very responsive to those. Very treat-oriented, as you can tell. So we also have worked with an e-collar for just the vibration. So we've taught her with the e-collar, when I hit the vibration mode, that it tells her to pay attention to me. So that helps.
Now, I've noticed that sometimes older dogs are the hardest ones to find homes for. Do you have older dogs, and have you found a way to appeal to people who might be thinking of adopting a dog?
We do. We have all ranges of ages, and some people just don't want that young puppy it's full of energy and needs to be ran an hour or two a day. Sometimes people are just looking for a more mellow companion, and so we have dogs, I believe right now, up to 10 years old. Wow. In the rescue.
Now, sometimes I think of German Shepherds and I think of police dogs, because they're pretty protective and they're pretty smart.
Right.
Do you have any former police dogs?
We don't. Most of the time, former police dogs stay with their handlers majority of the time, or they wouldn't end up in a rescue because they're so well bred. They usually find homes more quickly than some of the other shelter dogs that we might pick up.
Can you tell me about the history of the Westside German Shepherd Rescue?
Yeah, Westside has been around for about 13 years. The founder, Robin, is actually from the Santa Barbara area. Her father was a professor out of UCSB, and her family still lives in the area. So she has close ties and a lot of love for Santa Barbara, which is why we end up doing a lot of our events up here to showcase some of our dogs.
Wow. Well, it's so terrific that you're here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing Athena.
Oh, thank
and I
you.
think we're going to take a break, and we better say, for now, Auf Wiedersehen.
Sometimes scary things happen, like fires and floods. And suddenly a family has lost everything. That's why the Unity Shop has a disaster assistance program. We help families with immediate needs like food, clothing, and household items. And we continue to help them long-term until they're back on their feet and in their homes. But it takes a whole community to make this possible. Please, donate today so we can help everyone who needs us. Find out how you can help at unityshop.org.
Hi, I'm Carrie Burns, and I'm the Executive Director for the Santa Barbara Humane Society. And what we want you to know is that Humane Societies are local to each community. No one is associated with the National Humane Society. So when you donate or you adopt, know that everything that you touch is right there in your own backyard. We want you to donate, volunteer, and adopt. For more information, visit sbhumanesociety.org.
Weren't there some amazing animals and guests? You know, you who adopt animals from shelters, you are the true heroes. If you want to see more about AnimalZone and other things, check out our website, AnimalZone.org, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Never was a friend so true, never was a friend like you. Canine, you're my best friend. Canine of mine, friend for all time. So glad you're my best friend. Through thick and thin, we'll see things through. Canine of mine, so true. Did I find you or did you find me? Either way, it's still serendipity. When I saw you, it was plain to see you weren't just another lassie wannabe. Oh, canine of mine, friend for all time. I'm so glad you're my best friend.